Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here, trying to control my powdery mildew. This is a mixture of 1 tablespoon of baking soda to a gallon of water. You need to get it early in the morning so it doesn't scorch the leaves. If you're in any part of the United States, you know we're scorching right now. Let's do a little garden tour. I can finish this in a few minutes. Well, let's start here at the potatoes. We've been eating these fresh. They haven't died back yet, but there are lots of potatoes in here. Just a quick little dig there, and I don't know, there's probably at least a 5-gallon bucket full of potatoes in here. This is my construction zone. I've been working in the mornings early, and you might notice I finally got my frame for my cold frame down this week. I've been gone a lot. I went on vacation to the beach last weekend. I had a great time with the family. So I've only been home a few days in the last couple of weeks. Persimmon trees are coming right along. Something's been eating on them, but I haven't sprayed them with anything. Got a little bonus oak tree in there. Strawberries have come and gone. We're getting a couple, maybe during a walkthrough. The raspberries have come and gone. I've clipped out the fruit-bearing canes. I didn't try to dig them out of there because they are entangled in a mess, but I did cut them out and I've tied up the other ones. These are all the berries with thorns. Look at this. I digress, but got a beautiful lotus going to open up today probably. And this one is opening up today. Look at the beautiful color on that. I love that. Over here, I haven't finished this project yet. This is that glingo, the berry that my wife's favorite. What I want to do here is clear out this bed, except I'll move the irises this fall. It's not a good time of year to move anything right now. And I'll move this yarrow too. I can scrape off a little bit of the skin here and put a rock on that, and it will form a new cane. And post up this other one, but I just haven't gotten to it since I've been working so hard on other things. The Taffinia is starting to bloom. That'll keep growing. Look at this sunflower. Look at all the heads on that. I love that sunflower. Got some more over here. That's way over my head. We've harvested sweet corn. We've had several meals with it. This is the bicolor. It's nice sweet corn. This is the red okra that I've neglected. Those are way too big to eat. I need to clip those off. It'll keep producing. And there's some more. There's a couple of edible pods over there. If you don't clip these when they're young, you might as well eat the cob from the corn because that's about the same consistency. Got a lot of marigolds blooming all over the place. Well, that was a fast sweep. This is my $5 bargain basket from Walmart. I'm looking at some flowers right there right now. This is a hard time of year for nurseries to keep up the watering, and so you're going to see a lot of sales going on. That sugary sweet tomato back there is those are really sweet little tomatoes. My hibiscus here, growing well. The Jerusalem artichoke behind it, I've tied up to the fence here because it was leaning over after some of the storms we've had. I've got some toad eggs in here floating around the top. There's no filter in this, but I like it out here because I can put my water hyacinth out here. The fish will eat it if I'm not careful. Here are some more sunflowers I planted. Started them in the basement, transplanted them out here. It's time to start some more. Now, this is interesting. This is my newest bird feeder. I haven't gotten to work yet, but I had filled it up with seeds. And something, I would imagine a raccoon, this was clean yesterday. So something was able to climb up and over here and get onto that. I thought I had it fixed. So this is the place for my trail cam tonight. I'm going to put some more seed in here and see how that raccoon got up and over there. Man, they are clever. I'm still working on the beds and I've made some progress. I can only work a couple of hours in the morning. It just gets too hot and humid, and then I go inside and find something else to do. This is really troublesome though. I thought I had the solution. I need a bigger baffle probably. We've been eating on these tomatoes as well. This is the sugary, which I thought was going to get bigger, but they're not. And I love to go take a bunch of these and clean them up and put them in the refrigerator and use them as a nice cool snack during the day. The Lincolns have not yet ripened, but we have had some big beef steaks, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But there's a lot of tomatoes in there. There's a couple. There's the first Lincoln. See what that tastes like today. We've had several bacon and lettuce tomato dinners. Here's my Mexican petunia, had fallen over during a storm. I've got it propped up here. Bird bath. Keep some water down here. This I have to fill sometimes twice a day. It evaporates so fast. I need a little bigger bird bath. Well, I wanted some bee balm and my wish was granted. This bee balm has taken over this flower bed. This Nicotonia had gotten blown over during the wind as well, and it looks like my false indigo pods have ripened. I'll get in there and harvest those this weekend. Here's a cypress vine coming up through that. There's a bee trying to wake up in the morning. This is the flame Hanicus, and it is doing really well, but it's going to need some support as well. I've got another one in the corner of the perennial bed I'll show you that I need to move this fall. Here's the bread and salt tomatoes. I haven't gotten one off of there yet, but I have gotten several off of the big beef, and they are big. I need to be careful because that powdery mildew will come over here on this cucumber plant that's just developing. Oh, I got a nice cucumber there. This is one of JM's bee balms that was covered with the poison ivy. It was over here in the construction zone, so I lifted it and put it over here. I need to get some mulch around it because it's drying out. This is where the lettuce was that I've pulled up a little bit every day and gave to the chickens. This is the bed where I had the peas, and those have all been harvested and eaten. Boy, they were sweet. And I had a volunteer tomato plant in here. So if you're a longtime viewer, you recall that Ethan made a compost bin for me last year as one of his projects. Well, one side of the compost bin just had leaves in it. So this is leaf mulch here. I'm just using it to cover up the soil. In this bed were the onions, the Brown's Omaha onions, and I've harvested those, got them on a drying rack here. I'll need to wait until those stems dry up completely, and then we'll store them probably in the refrigerator. I don't have a nice cool place to store those. That's about it for the garden. Let's take a walk down the perennial bed here. My yarrow is starting to fall over, and I need to get in there and deadhead quite a few of those. That way I'll get a nice fall bloom. The balloon flowers here have come and gone. I'm looking at these seed heads and trying to maybe look up and see what I need to do to produce some more plants from those. A few onions I pulled the other day accidentally, still drying out here. I've got a vine up there that it looks like some kind of a melon. I'll just leave it there for a few days and see what it develops. Some of JM's bee balm there. Doesn't seem to be as affected by the powdery mildew. It has a lot more air circulation up there. Behind on deadheading my daisies and pulling this grass. This is sedge in here, and it is so hard to control. I've got sedge killer, and what I'll do is pull most of that up. It's best to do that right after a rain. Pull that up, and then as the new sedge comes up, because it multiplies through roots, and if you leave 1/8 of an inch of a root in there, it will come back up. Then I can use a paintbrush and paint on sedge killer or sedge control. That's the only product I've found, and I'll try to get you a picture of that, that will control sedge. The black-eyed Susans are just now starting to bloom. Got a honeybee coming at me. The foxgloves are doing well. I've cut back most of those stems and just left a few for seeds. Stepping back here, another volunteer tomato plant. Some of that red yarrow that Jimmy got, and my Joe Pye weed is starting to bloom. I moved more of it out and put it up above it, more of that red yarrow out and moved it up above. And I've got a whole bunch of flowers up there. Might go up there in a minute to show you. Those are from the pollinator mix that I got from Bentley Seeds. My echinacea are doing really well. And once again, Walmart has those and they're looking really droopy. I'll check there. It's only 2 miles away. I think there's a Walmart within 2 miles of anybody in the world. But I run over there if I'm on an errand and just check to see what they have on sale. Got some zinnias coming on here, blooming well. My split leaf dragon maple is still holding a lot of color. This is the other flame anicus, and you can see it's not doing well here in this corner. Probably too dry, probably not enough sun. I'll move it this fall. Oh, let me show you this. I got to show you this. This is the red, let me zoom in. This is my red honeysuckle. I've got my camera focused up here because the hummingbirds love this. They visit this so many times a day. And these blooms have stayed open longer than the earlier blooms did. There's also snail vine in here, and it has not bloomed. Got two beautiful blooms here in the water lilies, and they'll open up during the day and close during the night, and they'll last for about a week. Cannabelles have bloomed. There's not a bloom on them. Oh, there is a bloom on them right there. Let me show you that. Isn't that pretty? There it is. I love them. And after a day or so, those bells actually fall off, and they look exactly like a bell when they do. Black-eyed Susan vines are in here as well. So I'm really happy. I'm hoping the snail vine was going to bloom here soon. That's not a snail vine bloom. That's a morning glory. This is what they look like right before they bloom. I do want to come back to this bed. I forgot to tell you, the tomato plant was laying over there. On my last video, this tomato plant was just barely starting. But right here along this row, I had year-round lettuce before we left on vacation. And it was about 1 inch tall and looking really good. But when I got back, it had totally disappeared. Now, I don't know if the slugs got it or I didn't see any slug trails, but I was very disappointed in that. I planted some more in the basement. I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to try again. And while I was talking here, I just noticed all these huge tomatoes. Oh, look at there. Somebody's been eating on that one. Squirrels or raccoons. Ah. When you're gardening, there's always something to mess you up. Take a really quick trip over here to the blueberries. We're not going to get very many. Jimmy gave me a couple of snakes when I was in Indiana with him, and so I moved them from the raspberries over here. But the frost, we had a really bad frost right after they had bloomed, and you can see normally these blueberries are just full of berries, but not this year. We'll be lucky to get any from the birds. That's why I've concentrated these snakes over here where there's quite a few berries that haven't ripened yet. I'll move them a little bit every day, but I don't think I'm fooling them. Before I finish this video today, I want to give Jimmy an update on his butterfly bush. We've got new leaves coming on it. I'm trying to naturalize this area up here. It's right outside the dining room window. I've put a black-eyed Susan up here and some of this annual that keeps reseeding itself. This is some bee balm, and that dead looking stuff over there is the yarrow. It's really hard to kill yarrow, so I think it'll come back. We got a little bit of rain yesterday, but I'll need to keep watering these. But my goal here is to naturalize this whole hill. Got some more flowers over here. I have a beautiful little daylily over here that blooms well. I don't know what this flower is, but it again is one of those from the Bentley pollinator packs. So gradually, this has a lot of daffodils in it. Oh, by the way, speaking of daffodils, Burpee sent me a little thing the other day, that a little advertisement. 100 days of blooms. They guarantee 100 days of daffodil blooms. For $25, 25 bulbs, I bought it. It'll arrive in October, and I'm going to hold them to 100 days. It's going to go right here on this hill, probably right in front of these daffodils, these yellow ones right here. And I know it's going to get enough light to last for several years. So I'm going to leave you this morning on top of the hill that leads down to the garden. Got some bees working here. You may not be able to see them. They're already up. It's almost 9 o'clock, and I am sweating my head off. It is so humid here. I'm hoping that you have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Be careful. Watch out for yourself and others. Got the honeybills right down here. The hummingbirds love those too. These black-eyed Susans are going to pop here by the time I have my next video. This red echinacea is really pretty. More zinnias and some, again, from the Bentley seeds. There's a bachelor's button. I've been wanting to have bachelor's buttons back in the garden here. I haven't had them for years. That was in that mix. So there it is, July 1st, 2023. Stay safe, friends.